Hare Krishna, everyone. Excuse me. Thank you for joining this morning. Srimad Bhagavatam Sangha and 10 to Japa later on. Let's make a start. It's been a hectic week for everyone. And I'm just thinking that our body is not compatible for so much celebration, although it's very necessary. But our weak bodies are not exactly lined up for all this. And like on the call right now, some of us have traveled a long distance to meet these functions, and like Praveen Mathishok Prabhu, they even hosted some of the event, and there's cooking involved and all sorts. And so it's quite a lot when everything comes together. But it's all very spiritually beneficial. So thank you so much. We'll continue talking about the divine demon Vṛtrāsura and his glorious death. So Vṛtrāsura was speaking to Indra. He says, since everything is dependent on the supreme will of the personality of Godhead, one should be equipoised in fame and defamation, victory and defeat, life and death in their effects, represented as happiness and distress. One should maintain oneself in equilibrium without anxiety. So these things are not in our control, and they are expected. It's not like we shouldn't get surprised. Oh, this has happened. We lost or we won. We've been famed or we've been defamed. Although easier said than done. Especially when you're defamed, it's not easy to recover from that. But the ideal is to be that. One who knows that the three qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are not qualities of the soul, but qualities of material nature. And who knows that the pure soul is simply an observer of the actions and reactions of these qualities. We're just observing. Should be understood to be a liberated person. He's not bound by these qualities. Just watch the modes, do their thing. Really, just observe. So as the Lord explains in Bhagavad-Gita 1854, Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma na sochati na kankshti same sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. So one who is transcendently situated at once realizes the supreme Brahman, who's Krishna, and becomes fully joyful. Just like Krishna is fully joyful. He is a supreme Brahman and his Atmaram is fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He's equally disposed to every living entity. So in that state, he attains pure devotion service unto me. So if you can attain that state, then you are qualified to go back home. When one attains self-realization, the Brahma Bhuta stage, one knows that whatever happens during his life is due to the contamination of the modes of material nature. The living being, the pure soul, has nothing to do with these modes. In the midst of the hurricane of the material world, everything changes very quickly. But if one remains silent and simply observes the actions and reactions of the hurricane, he is understood to be liberated. The real qualification of the liberated soul is that he remains Krishna conscious, undisturbed by the actions and reactions of the material energy. Such a liberated soul is always jubilant. He never laments or aspires for anything. Since everything is supplied by the Supreme Lord, the living entity, being fully dependent on him, should not protest or accept anything in terms of his personal sense gratification. Rather, he should receive everything as the mercy of the Lord and remain steady in all circumstances. So it's really about detachment. Can we detach ourselves from sense gratification Can we detach ourselves from three modes of nature? Although they are binding us, but we are also binding them as well. Somebody has to let go. If we can let go, and then they will eventually realize that they're not interested, it will also let us go. So let's pray. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangum Langyate Gurim Yat Kirpata Mamandeshing Gurun Din Taranam Param Ananda Madhvam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaim Udviriyat Nashtapreshu Abdureshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloka Bhaktir Bhavati Nestikhi. Hare Krishna. So, oh my enemy, just look at me, says Vṛtrāsura. I have already been defeated. My weapons and my arm have been cut to pieces. You have already overwhelmed me, but nonetheless, with a desire to kill you, I am trying my best to fight. I am not at all morose, even under such adverse conditions. Therefore, you should give up your moroseness and continue fighting. So Vṛtrāsura was so great and powerful that in effect he was acting as a spiritual master of Indra. Although Vṛtrāsura was on the verge of defeat, he was not at all affected. He knew that he was going to be defeated by Indra, and he voluntarily accepted that. But since he was supposed to be Indra's enemy, he tried his best to kill Indra. So he didn't give up his role. He played his part all the way, till the end. Thus, he performed his duty. One should perform his duty under all circumstances, even though one may know what the result will be. So sometimes we're disheartened by saying this is like a useless thing. I can't do this and that. We make excuses, but never give up your duty. Oh, my enemy, consider this battle a gambling match in which our lives are at stake. The arrows are the dice, and the animals acting as carriers are the game board. No one can understand who will be defeated and who will be victorious. It all depends on providence. So Shukadeva Goswami said, hearing the straightforward, instructive words of Vṛtrāsura, King Indra praised him and again took the thunderbolt in his hand. Without bewilderment or duplicity, he then smiled and spoke to Vṛtrāsura as follows. Now King Indra speaks. King Indra, the greatest of the demigods, was astonished to hear the instructions of Vṛtrāsura, who was supposed to be a demon. He was struck with wonder that a demon could speak so intelligently. Then he remembered great devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, who had been born in the families of demons, and thus he came to his senses. Even so-called demons sometimes have exalted devotion for the Supreme Personality Godhead. Therefore, Indra smiled reassuringly at Vṛtrāsura. So this body is just a house for the living entity, for the soul. It's just a housing. But the quality depends on the soul itself. Indra said, "Oh, great demon, I see by your discrimination and endurance in devotion service, despite your dangerous position, that you are a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul and friend of everyone. You have surmounted the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, and because of this liberation, you have given up the demoniac mentality and have attained the position of an exalted devotee. Body of a demon, mind of a devotee." Vṛtrāsura, demons are generally conducted by the mode of passion. Therefore, what a great wonder it is that although you are a demon, you have adopted the mentality of a devotee and have fixed your mind on the Supreme Personality Godhead, Vasudeva, who is always situated in pure goodness. So it's a lesson for us that we are haunted by the three modes of nature, and they are, competing against each other to be dominant in us. But if a demon can overcome the mode of passion and ignorance, then why can't we do it? You know? So King Indra wondered how Vṛtrāsura could have been elevated to the position of an exalted devotee. As for Prahlad Maharaj, he was initiated by Narad Muni, and therefore it was possible for him to become a great devotee, although he was born in a family of demons. But for Vṛtrāsura, however, Indra could not detect such causes, so he didn't get any help from anyone. So see how great Vṛtrāsura is. He didn't have a spiritual master to help him. Though he was struck with wonder that Vṛtrāsura was such an exalted devotee that he could fix his mind without deviation upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, Vasudeva. So, he didn't get any support, he didn't get any instructions, he didn't have a exalted spiritual master who could help him, but yet he was a great devotee, just, naturally, because he remembered his previous lives. A person fixed in the devotional service, the Supreme Lord, Hari, the Lord of the highest auspiciousness, swims in the ocean of nectar. For him, what is the use of the water in small ditches? So Vṛtrāsura has formally prayed, na prishtham na cha param echitam na sarva bahunam na rasa dipatyam. I don't want the facilities for happiness of Brahmlok, Swarglok, or even Dhruvlok, not to speak of this earth or the lower planets. I simply want to return home back to garden. He's resolute in what he wants, whatever happens to him. He knows he missed a chance. As when he was the ruler of Vidyadhar planet, before he was Chitraketu, the king who became realized, then he became the king of Vidyadhar planet, and because something he said, he missed the opportunity to go back home. But now he's resolute. He remembers his previous lives. He wants to just go back home, back to God. This is determination of a pure devotee. A pure devotee is never attracted to any exalted position within this material world. He simply wants to associate with the Supreme Personality Godhead. Like the inhabitants of Vrindavan. So Rupa Goswami says that as well, that how to buy Krishna consciousness? By eagerness. You must have enthusiasm. Lolam must be there. That is the only purchasing price to get into this position. So the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani, the gopis, Krishna's father and mother, Nand Maharaj and Yashoda, Krishna's friends and Krishna's servants. He wants to associate with Krishna's atmosphere of Vrindavan's beauty. So Vṛtrāsura wants to be there, with the family. These are the highest ambitions of a devotee of Krishna. Devotees of Lord Vishnu may aspire for a position in Vaikuntha Lok, but a devotee of Krishna never aspires even for the facilities of Vaikuntha. He wants to return to Goloka, Vrindavan, and associate with Lord Krishna in his eternal pastimes. Vaikuntha means that there is no distress there, just happiness, true happiness. Any material happiness is like water in a ditch, whereas the spiritual happiness eternally enjoyed in the spiritual world is like an ocean of nectar in which a devotee wants to swim. So it's not that we become, after this week, this hard week everybody's had, you think, what am I signing up for? Am I signing up for this for eternity? But no, that is not the case. You're signing up for eternal happiness, pure happiness, and unlimited happiness. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, Vṛtrāsura and King Indra spoke about devotional service even on the battlefield. And then, as a matter of duty, they again began fighting. My dear king, both of them were great fighters and were equally powerful. O Maharaj Parikshit, Vṛtrāsura, who was completely able to subdue his enemy, took his iron club, pulled it around, aimed it at Indra, and then threw it at him with his left hand. So his right arm is now been chopped off. With his thunderbolt named Shatparvan, Indra simultaneously cut pieces Vṛtrāsura's club and his remaining hand as well. Vṛtrāsura, bleeding profusely, his two arms cut off at the roots, looked very beautiful, like a flying mountain whose wings have been cut to pieces by Indra. So Vṛtrāsura was very powerful in physical strength and influence. He placed his lower jaw on the ground and his upper jaw in the sky. His mouth became very deep, like the sky itself, and his tongue resembled a large serpent. With his fearful death-like teeth, he seemed to be trying to devour the entire universe. Thus, assuming a gigantic body, the great demon Vṛtrāsura shook even the mountains and began crushing the surface of the earth with his legs as if he were the Himalayas walking about. He came before Indra and swallowed him and Iravat, wow, his carrier, just as a big python might swallow an elephant. Oh, my enemy, just look at me. I have already been defeated, for my weapons and arm have been cut to pieces. You have already overwhelmed me. But nonetheless, with the desire to kill you, I'm trying my best to fight. I'm not at all morose, even under such adverse conditions. Therefore, you should give up your moroseness and continue fighting. When the demigods, along with Brahma, or the other Prajapatis and other great saintly persons, saw that Indra had been swallowed by the demon, they became very morose. Alas, they lamented, what a calamity! What a calamity! So the protective armor of Narayan, which Indra possessed, was identical with Narayan himself. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, protected by that armor and by his own mystic power. King Indra, although swallowed by Vṛtrāsura, did not die within the demon's belly. With his thunderbolt, King Indra, who was also extremely powerful, pierced through Vṛtrāsura's abdomen and came out. Indra, the killer of the demon Bal, then immediately cut off Vṛtrāsura's head, which is high as the peak of a mountain. Although thunderbolt revolved around Vṛtrāsura's neck with great speed, separating his head from his body took one complete year, 360 days. The time in which the sun, moon, and the other luminaries complete a northern and southern journey. Then at this suitable time of Vṛtrāsura to be killed, his head fell to the ground. Excuse me. When Vṛtrāsura was killed, the Gandharvas and the Siddhas in the heavenly planets beat kettle drums in jubilation with Vedic hymns that celebrated the prowess of Indra, the killer of Vṛtrāsura, praising Indra and showering flowers upon him. O King Parikshit, subduer of enemies, the living spark then came forth from Vṛtrāsura's body and returned home back to Godhead. So Vṛtrāsura got what he wanted. While all the demigods looked on, he entered the transcendental world to become an associate of Lord Sankarshan. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that Indra, not Vṛtrāsura, was actually killed. Now, he says that when Vṛtrāsura swallowed King Indra and his carrier, the elephant, he thought, now I have killed Indra, and therefore there is no more need of fighting. Now let me return home, back to Godhead. So he stopped all his bodily activities and became situated in trance. Taking advantage of the silence of Vṛtrāsura's body, Indra pierced the demon's abdomen, and because of Vṛtrāsura's trance, Indra was able to come out. Now Vṛtrāsura was in Yog Samadhi, and therefore, although King Indra wanted to cut his throat, the demon's neck was so stiff that Indra's thunderbolt took 360 days to cut it to pieces. Actually, it was the body left by Vṛtrāsura that was cut to pieces by Indra. Vṛtrāsura himself was not killed in his original consciousness. Vṛtrāsura returned home back to Godhead to become an associate of Lord Sankarshan. And here the word Aloka means the transcendental world, Vaikuntha Lok, where Sankarshan eternally resides. So Indra was not able to kill Vṛtrāsura in his original position. It's only when Vṛtrāsura left his body that Indra could do, or he could dominate Vṛtrāsura. That's what's mentioned here. When Vṛtrāsura was conscious in his body, Indra could not have the opportunity to do anything, like that to him. He could not kill him. But Vṛtrāsura demonstrated that he could kill Iravat and Indra by swallowing them. And had he stayed, had he not wanted to go back home to Godhead, Indra would have been killed alongside his elephant as well. So this is amazing pastimes. What amazing demon. He's so big, mighty, powerful, but he has a goal, and he understands what is more important. He's not bothered about power or anything like that. But main thing is he had a goal, and he didn't just sit around for that goal to happen. He realized what his duty was and how he was going to achieve that goal, and he did that to the last breath he had. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Oh, nice. So we have Ashok Prabhu and Praveen Mataji, Hina Mataji, Rukmini Mataji, and Partha Prabhu. I know I had a message from Sureshi Mataji. She was busy today, so could not make, but welcome everyone. And love to hear your views. Partha Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, very nice pastime. I mean, spiritual master, as you like, he doesn't have a spiritual master in this lifetime. But as you said again, when he was Chitraketu, he was guided by Narada Muni that time.
Mhm.
And Narada Muni actually asked, because he was desperate to have a kid that time. Narada Muni, I heard somewhere like Narada Muni asked him to do chanting, and because of that, he is able to remember even now. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita, Prachavaina Vidyate. This knowledge is not going to finish. You will continue from where we left. So even though spiritual master is not there in this lifetime, but still he is guided by the supreme spiritual master from within. So last chapter 7 says Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So Jnana is what you do, but Vijnan he give from within. So he was constantly giving him that knowledge. And resolute, he is so determined to go back home, back to Godhead. So he was encouraging Indra to kill him, even though I'm defeated, but don't think like that. So you lift your weapon, you fight with me, and you kill me, because you know ultimate what is going to happen. So if Vishnu decides, that is going to happen anyhow. So it's a best decision for him, Vishnu's decision, and he abide by that decision. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. And amazingly, Vṛtrāsura, even though Indra is the king of the demigods, it seemed like, Vṛtrāsura was the king there. He was controlling everything. He was deciding. He was making the decisions that what happens, who lives, who dies. And he took the decision when to, just like Bhishmadev, he decided when he will leave his body. Indra really didn't have any control of, even though he had Narayan Kavach with him, he still didn't have any authority over him. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hina Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I really don't have too much to add to today. I'm a little bit under the weather. Man, caught COVID on Janmashtami, so wasn't able to attend any of the celebrations. But I think I'm over the worst now anyway. But yeah, I was just thinking about Vṛtrāsura's determination and how fixed he was on his goal. And even despite such challenging circumstances that he was under as a demon, he was still so fixed on what he wanted and where he wanted to go. And that was for him to go back to the lotus feet, the Lord. And I think that's quite inspiring, really. So it's a lesson to us all, really, despite whatever situations we're in, to just remain so fixed up don't let nothing kind of put us off course, essentially, regardless of how challenging us external situations may be. Internally, he was still so fixed and resolute. So that was what I wanted to share. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, we see some devotees on Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja as well. There's some devotees there. You know, they've had some like massive problems, in their lives, and yet they're resolute. You know, that they're attending the functions, they're chanting, they are still focusing on the goal that they have. It's like, there are people who give up on spirituality when problems come in life. They're thinking, well, what is the point? I'm doing all this and I'm still getting so many problems. Krishna's not looking after me. He's not even there. We're just wasting our time. And some people leave spirituality for that reason. Think like, let's enjoy the moment. We deserve it. We've been through a lot. But Srila Prabhupada's the knowledge he has provided us, he has interpreted and translated for us, is so strong that if we are serious, if we study seriously, then we can get very mentally very strong. If not physically, Kali Yuga, bodies are weak. There's nothing, we can only do so much to make our body strong. But I think intelligence-wise, we can become very, very strong by studying Srila Prabhupada's books and this knowledge. For us, we can be resolute like Vṛtrāsura by studying Srila Prabhupada's books. And Bhagavad-Gita, like Partha Prabhu just mentioned, that you can give examples that what Krishna is saying in there, and if you remember those things, then you can become a Prasanna-atma, you can become Brahma-bhuta by just studying this knowledge. Thank you so much. Praveen Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you. Very nice pastime, and it clearly shows, when you have a clear goal, it can be achieved. So his clear goal was the lotus feet of the Lord. He wanted to go back to Godhead, and with Vṛtrāsura, he managed to, do that. He managed to overcome modes of passion and mode of ignorance. So we clearly know we are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 4, we're doing Adi Leela, and even there it's talking about devotional service, how we have to engage, and Krishna only wants love and affection. He doesn't, he reciprocates the way we, do our service. So he doesn't want any, like anybody thinking, he's like big and we are small. He's more happy when we treat him like a son or friend. And how the Vṛtrāsura, they did, his worship. So he likes that mode. So it's not hard. So we just have to know that, Krishna is our protector and savior, and we just have to love him. So it talks about spontaneous love, and so we just have to keep trying. So like when initially I had to get up, because when we used to meet Harborne, that place, and I remember going to a morning aarti, and it was so hard to wake up. But then slowly, and I said, oh God, how these people do it? It's just so hard. You don't want to wake up so early. But then, slowly, Krishna gives you the strength, and by his mercy, it becomes a habit. So then if you don't get up, you don't feel right. You've missed something. So I think that is the love developing for Krishna, that now we want to be with Krishna. That time, this is time with Krishna. So so like I think I heard somewhere, you fake it until you make it. So we're still faking that we are trying. So I'm hoping that one day we will make it, and I'm sure with Krishna's mercy we will. In the association of devotees. And thank you so much for everything, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Very good point, Mataji. Yeah, absolutely. Fake it till you make it. I heard that Krishna consciousness is like an arranged marriage. So when two people get married in arranged marriage, that you've never really met each other properly, especially in the old days, never really met each other. You might be seeing each other for the first time because you're totally relying on your parents to make the right decision for you, find you the right partner. Now, when you are together in your marriage, you don't have any love for each other because you don't know anything about each other. But through time, you serve each other, right? Especially, the wife serves the husband, and husband is good to the wife. And through the service, what is service is that you fall in love, right? So you love the person you marry, not marry the person you love, but why you love the person you marry? Because you serve each other and it turns into love. So it's same with Krishna. We're doing sadhana bhakti at the moment. We have just come into arranged marriage with Krishna. And if we keep serving him, Krishna will fall in love with us and we will fall in love with him just through that service. Because when you serve Krishna, he also serves us back, and that becomes a bond and a marriage. And here it shows that Krishna doesn't discriminate. He's equal to Indra and to Vṛtrāsura as well. It's not because he's in a demon body, he's not ignoring. They're both his is part and parcel of him. And he was doing the whatever, he was fulfilling their desires as they wanted. So this arranged marriage, we have to work at it until we can consider Krishna as our husband, and if we can please a husband, he will please us back, and then it become a marriage of love. It become a marriage of love. That's what we're trying to achieve. It doesn't seem great at first, but it can become nectar later on. Is Ashok Prabhu there? Hope he's listening.
He's listening, but yeah.
It's okay if he doesn't want to contribute, that's fine. Maybe next time. Nice to have you, Prabhu. Welcome. Okay.
No, because he's got to start his work. He's eating his breakfast.
No problem. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. I'm glad he's listening. And I think Rukmini Mataji maybe just listening as well. That's fine. And would you like to say something?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, everyone. So Vṛtrāsura's pastimes, they describe to us how a devotee is confident in all the circumstances. And when we read pastimes of Vṛtrāsura, hear them, and our mind starts imagining that, like, look, he's in such distress, and still he's so determined. He knows who is looking after him and what is his goal, and how he just is steadfast in those circumstances as well. And he can easily win Indra, but how he realizes, even under such trying circumstances, that what is his goal. So this is how Krishna consciousness works with all of us all the time. Sometimes we think, oh, we have done so much for Krishna. Oh, Krishna, we have done everything. I've done everything what I could today in all my might, in all my prowess, in all my, trying circumstances. And in that moment, sometimes you want to, your mind is trying to force you to say or think, oh, just leave this for today, and that's it. Krishna is not taking notice of my endeavors. But we have to take lead from hope from these pastimes, that every moment of our life, until we leave this world, trying to think of Krishna, remember Krishna, until that this is going to happen. Because like I always say that Krishna is only going to taste the A star students. Like in this material life, we have these grading systems, the qualifications we are given. Similarly, Krishna is only going to accept the best of the best of the best to be serving him in the Golok Vrindavan. And until then, we have to go through these tests day after day, day in, day out, and we have to fight the modes. The modes are like the teachers executed by Krishna for our exams. So beautiful pastime. I'm just feeling that, oh, Vṛtrāsura has taught so much, and his prayers are so beautiful, and they're worth meditating upon. And I'm so grateful that we have been through these pastimes. And definitely, I really like the example of this arranged marriage with Krishna. So yeah, it is like that, isn't it? We all love watching the Bollywood films where they show this and that. Oh, look, this is the cruel character in this. This is the nice one. But Krishna is our hero. Krishna is our goal. Krishna is kind to us. Krishna is cruel to us. Krishna is forgetfulness. Krishna is remembrance. So, like Partha Prabhu was saying, Krishna has proved what he said in Bhagavad-Gita through the pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam of this Vṛtrāsura, that he is not apohanam for his devotee. He will make them remember him at the right moment in the right way. So let us hope that Krishna paves way for us in such just like he's helped these devotees. And Krishna is actually reminding us every Friday when we sit here that yes, there is hope for you, but just be at it. Be like an athlete or a game player that who is hoping to get not just to achieve Olympics but the other games as well, because they just want to be the best at what they have decided to do in their life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much. Let's do a couple of rounds. We can start with Praveen Mataji and Partha Prabhu. Second round, please.